This video is sponsored by MOFT. This is the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and I've always gone with the max size model ever since the iPhone 12, and that's mainly because the Max always had something better to offer, more specifically the cameras. But this year, because both Pro models have feature parity, I'm actually downsizing to the standard iPhone Pro model, but I do have the 16 Pro Max with me as well. This wasn't planned. I'm not supposed to have two iPhone 16s, but this is gonna be more of like a work and like production type of phone opposed to just a doom scrolling powerhouse. The Pro Max features the largest display ever on an iPhone, measuring 6.9 inches with slimmer bezels that make the borders even thinner. And this makes a huge difference for me as I tend to use my iPhone as a viewfinder with my Sony cameras. The app that I use is called Monitor Plus, which allows me to get a live feed from my camera either wired or via Bluetooth with basically zero lag. A bigger screen also means more room for content, which is super helpful when checking widgets for quick insights. So at the top of my home screen, I have three large size widgets, one for my email, one for Things 3, and a social media tracker. I love how easy it is to quickly glance at new emails or quickly review my to-do list for the day. The extra screen space just makes it so much more convenient. The real upgrade to the display though is that we now can drop the brightness to just 1 nit. And I probably shouldn't be excited about this considering I should stop using my phone in bed at night, but here we are. I blame TikTok for showing me movies in like a million different parts. As for colors, Desert Titanium is the new color for the Pro models, and I'm a diehard silver fan, you probably already know that, but the Desert Titanium really reminded me of the iPhone 6 from back in the day, and that was the only time I didn't get a silver device. But Desert Titanium kind of has a more like pinkish rose gold hue to it, which I'm not too sure I'm a huge fan of. It has grown on me since unboxing the phone, but still, not a massive fan of it. I still have white titanium, the silver for like my main, like just the normal Pro, because silver is the best color. But once I put a case on this thing, the color is not even gonna matter. Speaking of cases, it's a no-brainer. I'm going with one from MOFT because I legit love them. MOFT is just one of those companies that makes all sorts of cool stuff thanks to their origami style designs. I've got their latest MOFT vegan leather case for the iPhone 16 Pro Max as well as the 16 Pro, and it's going to be part of both my work and my personal setup. And it's not only visually appealing, but the leather texture feels amazing. It's soft yet durable, and I just love how the buttons press. The case hugs the phone perfectly without adding any bulk. But that's not all. Inside MOFT's new creator kit are all of my favorite accessories for both working and creating content. You get the snap tripod stand, which is a super versatile accessory. With just one snap, it extends into a floating tripod, giving you tons of angles for the perfect shot. It even doubles as a selfie stick for vlogging, plus it's perfect for using with continuity camera on the Mac, giving you a better angle for your video calls or recordings. Of course, there's also the snap phone stand and wallet, and this has been my go-to MagSafe accessory since like 2019, and it just never leaves my phone. It's perfect for storing my ID and credit cards, and it works as a stand both vertically and horizontally. We also got their brand new Snap notepad stand for quick notes on the go. Besides the MOFT essentials, I keep the rest of my accessories pretty minimal. I've had an Apple Watch on my wrist for the last like 5 years now, and this year is no different. I'm currently using the Gen 1 Ultra, and it's still holding up strong. My main use case for the watch is just quicker access to information without needing to grab my phone. One of the most underrated features is using it as a camera control device. Being able to snap photos or videos while seeing what's in frame has come in handy more times than I can even count. As for audio, I decided to pass on the new AirPods since I don't use headphones that often anymore, and I still do have my Gen 1 AirPods Pro, although the battery life isn't the best anymore. They still do get the job done. I also need a reliable way to charge my phone and other devices, and for that I use the QQ X40Q 3-in-1 wireless charger. The X40Q features MagSafe and Qi 2 wireless fast charging technology, providing 15 watts of wireless fast charging. You can even rotate your phone into landscape mode to take advantage of iOS 17's standby mode. The station also supports Apple Watch charging with a convenient flip-out charger, so you don't need to remove any of your loop bands. And at the base, there's a dedicated AirPods charger with a helpful charging indicator on the back. Everything runs off of USB-C, offering a simple one cable solution from your power brick to the charger. And the best part is when it's folded, the charger is actually compact enough to fit in your pocket or your bag, making it perfect for travel. Plus, It's made of high quality aluminum with sturdy hinges that give you that premium Apple feel. Now the camera is where the iPhone 16 Pro Max really shines. The 48 megapixel sensor has seen some minor improvements and is now called the Fusion camera, but I honestly don't really notice a huge difference. That said, the main camera is still my favorite. It's my go-to. It's sharp, captures tons of detail, has great colors, and the focal range is just right. A big change this year is to the upgraded ultra-wide lens going from 12 megapixels to 48 megapixels. So the detail, the sharpness, and the colors are noticeably better in comparison to previous models. I never really used the ultra-wide camera in the past, partly because it wasn't very good, but I've taken a few shots with this new one and I'm very happy with how they look. They're super sharp, detailed, the colors look great. It's basically like having the main lens but just more in your frame. I think I'm actually starting to get the hype around the ultra-wide lens now. As for zoom, the 16 Pro Max comes with a 5x zoom, which was introduced with the 15 Pro Max last year. The good news though is that the 5x zoom is now available on the smaller Pro model too, and that's why I actually felt more comfortable downsizing my personal phone this year, as there's no difference in the camera setup between the two Pro models. Unfortunately, there wasn't an upgrade to the zoom lens this year, which is a bit disappointing since this is the one I use more than the ultra wide, and it's honestly the main reason why I go for a Pro over just a regular iPhone. We now have a brand new way to access and control the camera with the new camera control. With a light double press, you can access settings like exposure, depth of field, zoom, and photographic styles. It feels natural for zooming, although I still prefer using the dedicated camera lenses to ensure I'm always getting the best detail. I'm not sure how much I'll use this button yet. I've gotten into the habit of opening the camera with it, so maybe with a little bit more time, I'll get better at using it for the other things, but that said, I wouldn't be surprised if this button becomes something way more than just a camera feature in the future. I don't have any concrete proof, I just kind of have like that gut feeling because Apple added this button to the entire iPhone 16 lineup. It's not just a Pro specific feature, and I don't even remember the last time Apple added something to the iPhone and made it just standard across the entire lineup. So I definitely see via software, Apple's going to completely redefine this button, and I think it's going to have a huge thing to do with Apple Intelligence. I also can't believe they didn't add Touch ID to this button because I feel like this just would have been like the perfect opportunity. The camera control button isn't the only way I access my camera. While it seems to be the easiest and most convenient, I've also added it to my dock and control center. iOS 18 has introduced a brand new control center that can be fully customized to your liking. My control center is pretty simple though, just the essentials including a now playing widget, brightness, volume, rotation lock, ringer switch, flashlight, focus mode, calculator, things 3, voice memos, camera, screen recording, screen mirroring, and the TV remote. On the second page, I have it set up with all my HomeKit controls so I can manage everything in my smart home without ever needing to open up the app. Continuing with buttons and controls, the action button is now standard across the whole iPhone 16 lineup. Apple has introduced a ton of new ways to customize it, but I'm currently sticking to a Siri shortcut menu. I set up a little shortcut that opens up a menu with options for the ringer switch, volume controls, adding tasks to my to-do list, and opening up the voice memos. Speaking of voice memos, it now includes transcriptions, which is amazing. This feature is basically going to replace my workflow of using dictation for writing my scripts and notes and stuff, and I'm just super excited to use this more. This year, Apple introduced Photographic Styles, or a newer version of it at least, which is for customizing how your photos look both during shooting and post-processing. The user interface is really cool and it kind of simplifies a lot of the complexities that comes with photo editing. However, it's just not something I ever see myself using much. I'm just so used to editing my photos afterwards, and I actually enjoy the photo editing process. I use an app called Photomator from Pixelmator to edit all of my photos, and it's been my go-to for years now. I've mentioned it many times on the channel because it really is just amazing. I keep it right in my dock now, nestled between the camera app and the photos app for quick access. Photo editing really brings your images to life, which is why editing iPhone pics is so important. You can easily transform that typical iPhone look into something that resembles like a professional camera. On the video side, the iPhone 16 Pro now supports 4K recording at 120 frames per second, and as expected, the quality is just classic iPhone 4K footage, just at a smoother frame rate. I also love the new playback controls that let you adjust the speed of your footage, making it super easy to create slow motion videos. But the real upgrade this year is when it comes to the microphones, as we now have 4 new studio quality microphones, kind of similar to like the MacBook lineup, but now on the iPhone. Apple has also introduced a new feature called Audio Mix, where you can now edit the audio afterwards, kind of like post-production, but all through the Photos app. There are a couple different presets or settings that you can choose from, but honestly, this is the reason why I feel like I can rely on the iPhone now for both video and audio, all within the package itself, and not need extra gear or any extra microphones. Well, that's kind of it, honestly. I'm sure you've already heard multiple times, the iPhone 16 lineup is probably the most incomplete upgrade that we've gotten in a very long time. And that's because Apple spent so much time talking about Apple Intelligence. The entire keynote, all the marketing, all the ads right now, it's all so focused on Apple Intelligence. So I think I'll have to revisit the iPhone like sometime later in December or early January, basically once Apple Intelligence is available here in Canada. But other than that, I'm interested to know what you guys think of the iPhone 16 lineup. I know Apple, or I heard Apple sold a lot of units for this phone, which doesn't completely surprise me because again, this is the first lineup to ship with Apple Intelligence. So it's probably the most future-proofed iPhone you can get from Apple Intelligence, from the camera control button, and then of course all the kind of great things that are just built into the iPhone. Anyways, that's it for me. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a like and share it to a friend. And if you like Apple tech or desk setup related content, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.